Hello, what is up guys, Evil Duo I'm here today, back with another Black Desert video, but really it's more of like an Excel video than a Black Desert video, because in today's video I'm going to show you the spreadsheet that I've been working on for like the last 5 days now. I know there hasn't been a lot of Black Desert content on the channel, I do apologize for it. I've been working on this and I really think you're going to like it and think that the time I spent on it was worth it. Anyway, quickly before we get into the video today, if you're new to the channel, new to Black Desert, or you've been watching the videos on the channel, please consider subscribing. Helps grow my channel, you stay up to date when new content comes out, and I would greatly appreciate it. Anyway, without further ado, let's hop on over to the spreadsheet and show you it. So the splash page landing page for this spreadsheet is going to look familiar if you've used the Byrog gathering calculator. So it's pretty much the exact same thing, except I added on to his tables here to be able to pull more information. But I use this little calculator function that he built in at the start of this, as well as the marketplace polls, because it's super easy and convenient. So if you haven't checked out their spreadsheet for gathering, definitely an amazing one. Has all sorts of different gatherings and chances and all that great stuff. So if you're into gathering, you definitely want that one. But you're also going to want your boys right here. That's because after you fill in the initial region that you're playing on, so you have the different servers that you can choose from the dropdown, whether or not you have a value pack and your family fame bonus percent, the sheet is good to go and you really don't have to do much of anything else on it. So the first tab that we have on the sheet that I put together is a gathering tab. So this gathering tab is awesome. I think it's fully functional and has no other bugs or anything with it, but feel free to try and break it. Anyway, what you do is you pick your gathering location right here, right? So wherever you're trying to gather, let's just say I want to do deer blood. It auto-populates this list right here above my head with the possible drops from that location. So if you picked like Calpheon wood gathering, auto-populates it. If you pick like pig meat, auto-populates it. Everything auto-populates that you're going to be gathering there. So next, what you do is you type in your mastery as well as the amount of time you spend gathering at the location. So however long you spend gathering in minutes, type it there. You can put the date in as well if you want, and your mastery. Then you just start entering points here. So let's say I did a gathering session that got me 500 pork. You obviously fill in the rest of the stuff, but this is just to show you. Then what you do is you hit the submit button up here, and it enters the data point here as well as your silver per hour in a plot and records your all-time earnings for gathering. So if you go ahead and do another gathering session like 30 minutes later, you get another 650 pork, submit. It starts to track your gathering session. So another 650, let's say that this was like a 585, just to throw numbers out here, right? Just to have numbers in this chart. So yeah, I just typed in a bunch of random numbers, but you get the idea. So basically you can track how your gathering sessions are going. These are just random numbers I typed in. You should see more consistent numbers as you actually gather. Records your all-time earnings, which is great. The other thing is that it spits all this data into a data sheet. So this gathering data sheet keeps all the locations, the date that you ran it, the time you spent there, your mastery number, your earnings, and your earnings per hour. So if we go back to the gathering sheet here and say you decided to do troll blood instead or something, and instead you made a lot more money with troll blood because it's more profitable, and you plot that point, you'll see that it's a big outlier. If you want to go back to the gathering data sheet, you can sort and filter out all of the pig meats and only take the troll blood gathering sessions. Go back over to the gathering sheet and you'll see that the plot is now updated with only your troll blood sessions. So you can record data, compare data. It's really friggin' awesome. But from a base level, it also just tells you everything. You can keep track of your sessions and see how much money you're making. So the other thing about this is that the prices are determined based on the server that you selected. So at the start of the spreadsheet over here, when you picked what server you're on, the prices that are being updated throughout all this are the current prices on your server. They're the actual prices in-game on your server. So all of these numbers are up to date whenever you're opening the spreadsheet. It's pretty cool. Next up, we have a crate calculator. This only works for timber crates. It's because that's all I have it coded out for at this point. But basically, you pick your mastery from the drop-down list. So you pick whichever city you're going to Valencia, whether or not you're using the storage transport function or if you're carrying it yourself, whether or not you're going to be using the desert buff, how many crates you're going to be trading. So if I was going to do like 1,000 crates at a time, you then pick which version of the material you're starting from. So if you gathered everything yourself through nodes or through actually physically gathering, or if you bought the timber, or if you bought the planks off the market, or if you bought it as plywood off of the market, then you pick your crate that you're making of the 4 crates that are available to you, and you can see your total profit for whatever you were doing here. So if you gather it, you'll see how much money you make, etc., etc. The final one that I just actually finished up here is going to be the Imperial Cooking Calculator. This one I actually need to hide these cells, but this one's not finished yet. So right now how it works is you put in your mastery right here, so whatever mastery you have for cooking, in my case I have 1050, so that's why it's already selected. You pick what you're making. Right now it only works for pickled vegetables and Valencian meal because that's the only recipes I've put into this so far. But basically what it'll do after you put in your contribution and your average proc rates that you get for each of the different types of crafting that you're doing, it'll spit out a bunch of numbers into the table. So the first one is the items that are in the recipe. So these 5 items right here, it'll tell you how many of them you need to buy in order to make the number of items that you need in order to complete your contribution point daily turn-in for Imperial boxes. So in this case, 175 boxes. It'll tell you the exact amount of stuff you need for 175 boxes based on the proc rates that you put in up here. If you don't trust yourself in being able to get actual rare drops on these, you can just put in a 0 for that and it'll recalculate with 0 drop rate of the rare ones. Anyway, it tells you how many you need to buy. It's going to tell you how much money you're going to spend on the central market for each of those different items. It'll tell you the total cost to craft it. It will also tell you the cost if you decided to just buy everything off the market instead. So you can see the difference right now. It costs more money to craft than it does to buy. So you're better off just buying these recipes off the market. It'll tell you the value of all the boxes you're about to turn in, and it'll tell you the profit, whichever way you choose to go, whether you buy or craft it yourself. I'm also adding in the profit sell option right here, so as I add more recipes into this, you'll be able to see if the recipe is profitable to craft it and then sell it on the marketplace. And this number pulls from whether or not you have a value pack on. So pretty dank. The final sheet that we have in here that actually does anything is this grinding sheet. So I only have it for Gahaz Bandits because I was testing it to get it to work. So it works for Gahaz Bandits, and obviously it's going to do the same sort of thing. It's going to be a drop down here. You pick the location, you type in whatever you get off of the table here. So let's say I got 2,500 Gahaz seals, submit, and it'll do the same thing. It's just going to go right along and track all of the values that you earned. So it'll plot it and all of that good stuff. But anyway, this is what I've been working on here. This has taken me like 5 days to get it working. I think it's a really fantastic sheet. I certainly hope that you guys will get some use out of it. So version 1 is going to be linked in the description below. And updated versions will end up in my Discord server in my spreadsheet section where I put all the awesome spreadsheets that I use for playing Black Desert. But that's going to do it for today's video. So sorry there's not a super exciting video. I know spreadsheets are pretty boring, but I do hope it's going to help you here in Black Desert. I definitely think it is. It's going to help me. So if it's going to help me, it should help you. Anyway, guys, thank you all so much for watching. Once again, if you're not subscribed already, please consider it. Helps grow my channel. You stay up to date when cool content like this comes out. And once again, thank you so much for watching. I will see you at the next live stream over on Twitch, next YouTube video right here, or wherever I happen to see you. Dice.